Hello everyone, welcome. Sunday DoneDay collective one card pool, though sometimes the cards are like, have more of me. So we will see what comes up. Thank you for being here. My name is Eutimia Cruz Montoya of Mis Medicina. I am a lineage healer as well as a trained in traditional Chinese medicine as per the American educational system. Before I had a better consciousness about it, but you know, we build on what we do. We are who we are, and hopefully we're learning and growing and not too apologetic about it. Okay, but apologetic when we need to be. Anyways, Home and Theo, Great Spirit, Tonkashila, all that is good, sacred, love, kind, beauty, just. I ask for guidance in this reading. I ask that everyone present here is able to connect with their highest true self. I ask that any energies, entities, huchas, spirits, beings that are not benevolent be gone now. I ask you find the place you need, the place you're going. I ask the river water to come wash you. I ask our highest true selves, our angels, our soul's councils, our spirit guides, our honorable ancestors to work through us, creating a protective ring around our work here, that we may receive clarity, that we may receive proper guidance for the highest, truest calling of ourselves and the healing of Yala, the healing of our nation, the healing of our world, the healing of our peoples. Thank you for our food. Thank you for our water. Thank you for all of the nourishment of the people who love us. Thank you for choosing our healing. Thank you for our sacred boundaries. Oh my God. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay, we're going to use the good old faithful deck. Think about your questions. Okay. I was having some technical difficulties. I need like a proper setup. So I'm always trying to like prop my stuff up. It's kind of hilarious. Ha 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 ha. That's so funny. Got a bunch of stone friends in front of me. I love my rocks. I've been really a lot more careful about buying them though because of the mining issue. I find a lot of rocks in the river and I ask them if I can have them. And then I have some friends that get ethically sourced stuff because they work shows and stuff. So that makes me happy. Okay. Actually, we're not going to use the Santa Muerte deck right now, but that's okay. Maybe that'll come up later. We're going to use the Isle of View. This is not a tarot deck. This is they call them an oracle deck. The difference between a tarot and an oracle deck is tarot follows a certain system that is very ancient and old, and an oracle deck anybody makes for any purpose and any creative excitement. And this one was given to me. It was like a prototype of a friend's friend. It's called Isle of View. I love you too, Ninoshka. Welcome. Okay. This morning I saw a protesters bike rally out my front door, and that was really beautiful to see. And there are all different color peoples holding it down for Black lives. It made me so grateful to live in this time. Gave me hope. It gave me so much hope. So I ask a special blessing upon all of the bodies putting themselves out there protesting. I ask a special blessing to all the spiritual warriors out there, to all of the mothers raising anti-racist children. I ask a special blessing to all the haters, that their wounds may be healed. All right. These are fun cards. They're acronyms. Let it gently happen today. Light. Making the world a lighter place to live. So it looks like it's backwards on both my things, but y'all get it. Let it gently happen today. Light. So I'm perceiving this light as like the feeling of lightness. feel like so much of the heaviness is a push, and I respect the need for the push because the show Hype Man is playing through the Black Actors Guild right now, and it's very apropos to the times. I really encourage you all to go watch it. You can watch it in person in a safe social distance way here in Aurora, Colorado, or you can buy streaming tickets supporting Black art. Anyways, there's a line in it that just really hits about always waiting, and how the longer we wait, the more we die, right? The more, specifically if you live in a Black body, as far as seeking justice. So there is an urgency, and I want to own that. And within that urgency, there's only so much we can do right now in our bodies, and we need to be light. We need to feel lightness. So once again, this is a call to your joy. There's water on this card. There's boats on this card. Water has been showing up so much in my dream space, in my healing space. I've been doing mad ancestral healing right now. Water is life. Water is joy. Water shifts with the energetics put into it. If you look at Masaru Emoto's science experiments with water. Recently I got a healing session from a beautiful indigenous woman named Shaquan, and she reminded me to speak love, speak presence, speak beauty, speak healing, speak intention, speak gratitude into my water before I drink it. And it's been a beautiful practice, and I do so when I bathe, and I do so when I make tea. Also in the I Ching, which is the Chinese divination system, the one that represents joy, the hexagram that represents joy, or the trigram rather, is representative of a lake, of this big, vast presence of water that you can wash yourself in. So whether it's a river, whether it's rain, whether it's a cup of water, whether it's a lake, get thee to the water and pray, okay? Wash yourself. Let yourself be light by releasing, letting the water heal you. Órale pues, light. Let it gently happen today. I love that one. Idea. Imagination develops easy answers. I love this card. Imagination develops easy answers. Idea. Okay, we have ideas, right? And it is so part of the patriarchy, colonialism, the mechanisms of the 1%, and the even the language. If you're an English only or first language English speaker, the nuances of language tell you a lot about culture. So saying something like, oh, it's just your imagination, it's only in your imagination, devalues the power of our imagination. Einstein said imagination is the door to everything, right? There's a variation on that quote. That's not an exact quote, but there's something like that. Some things that we've discussed in some sessions I've had, and talking to beautiful, brilliant people like my dear friend Asia Dorsey with Bones, Bugs, and Botany, who's a dear Afrofuturist, and Cherie, who also talks about Afrofuturism. It's this idea of imagination, right? Of letting us and all humans perceive something different than we're living. Because right now, as the voting system sits in Electoral College, I don't know why I talked about that, I can't stand that shit. As the school system existed, because it's shifted now, right? As the cities exist, it was all in the imagination of the white landowning perpetrators of violence on Turtle Island toward indigenous land, indigenous people, Black bodies, etc., African bodies, I'd like to say. So we have the opportunity, we have the availability, and I would say we have the responsibility to imagine something different. Okay, idea. Imagination develops easy answers. So this is about giving yourself, hi Mari, te quiero tanto hermosa, I miss you, I hope you're well. This is about using your imagination and letting your imagination be open, be wide, be free, without the limitations of the structures that were built in somebody else's, aka the 1%'s imagination here now. We as people, if we are coming together, have the power to create anything we want. This is also why I'm such a huge proponent of creating new systems as opposed to reforming old broken systems that were meant to marginalize everyone. We can't fix that shit. Okay. And I know so many of you, or maybe not my followers, but so many people who I was raised with, who I went to college with, etc., are really like, no, we need to make this case law. We need to protest. And I get it, right? My mother and my father met protesting, right? Because the civil rights movement was a thing and we needed this, right? So no shade on that, but I'm like, how do we circumvent all that bullshit? How do we go outside of it? How do we move around it so that it is not even a fucking thing that we deal with? Like the school system, okay? Like, what do we want to teach our own kids? Like, how do we not even have to deal? My entire pregnancy, before and after, I didn't go to any medical, anything to this day, knock on wood, because I didn't want them pathologizing my body and me thinking, oh my God, what's wrong and stuff, because that's kind of the status quo, fear-based pathogenicity, what am I looking for? Pathology-based model of disease maintenance, right? I didn't want that on my body, so I didn't go. And I chose to get care from indigenous birth keepers who weren't involved in the system. And I'm so glad that I made that decision. And I'm so glad that I made the decision to birth at home. And it was hard and it fucking hurt because birth hurts, but I had control of my body and my experience, okay? So imagination develops easy answers. Imagine something fucking different than what we've been told is the truth. All right? Imagine something different and see where it takes us. Órale, pues. Imagination develops easy answers. How can we create what we want? Next, plan. Project life's answers now. Okay, so first we have the idea, right? And then we take real life steps to make it into the material realm. Project life's answers now. This is interesting. I do believe it was a white man who made this deck. I believe many things, if not all things, are tools of spirit, but you see there's an indigenous person with a bullseye right there. I don't know where he got this or how he got this, but to me, this is a call for all of us with indigenous ancestry and all of us who don't have indigenous ancestry, and specifically coming through like all Black presenting people with indigenous ancestry, which most of you, I believe, have, or all of you have. All of us have, because I also have a little bit of Black ancestry, like I believe all of us have, right? This is to really honor our presence in our land, our presence with the earth, our presence as indigenous humans to the earth, and our responsibility in honoring the earth over structures, over property, okay? Honoring our connection to each other, connection to the earth over property. So what are our plans to create this convergence of humanity that allows us to see each other and love each other and create with each other? Plan, project life's answers now. This is also where there's like some rich white men looking things with like tape measures and stuff. Like, I don't know how to feel about all this, what's on this card, but I'm guessing y'all have some things coming to you specifically. If you want to share them in the comments, I would love to hear what, there's like 2 of you who are like, oh, I have a hit on that. So tell us about it. And then this, I love this one, magic. Mind's awareness generates infinite creation. I really love this card. Magic isn't as magic as people think, right? Like mysticism isn't as mystical as people make it out. Oh, she's a witch. The reason why people know things, the reason why I can be a guide and a channel and etc., is because I give myself permission to connect with what is naturally coming through. That we all have an intuition. We all have the moment where we're like, oh, I should move that cup off the edge of that because it's gonna fall, and then you see it fall exactly the way you thought it would 3 minutes later because you didn't listen. Okay, magic is really just us being aware of the world, aware how the clouds move. But the industry and colonialism and television and devices and frankenfoods and our jobs have taken us away from being able to be present with the way the world works, okay? So awareness is so key, especially right now. What's coming up is the way that indigenous humans modeled warfare during the Civil War back in the day, in like the 1700s, where they call it guerrilla warfare, right? Where like all of these European trained warriors, they're like, let's all stand in lines, and when you take a turn shoot and you take a turn shoot. So everybody's just like taking turns shooting at each other, and they know they're gonna have fatalities. It's like, doesn't make sense, right? But the guerrilla warfare was like, I know where the trees are, I know where the dips are, I know when the tides are high, I know when the clouds are rolling in, I know when to go forth in order to save the people. So this is where we need to be. The industries aren't saving us. The working with the land, working with the elements, working with each other, understanding how to move because of the direction of what's unseen is going to give us what we need at this time. Magic. Mind's awareness generates infinite creation. When we keep aware of our surroundings, that's where we need to create from, especially right now in the uprisings, okay? Growing up in a magical kind of a lifestyle, or having seers in my family, we were taught real young, you know when to go. Like if we were at a party or something, right, in high school, creator, like we knew what the signs were to leave. And I can't tell you how many times growing up, like I would leave right before the cops came, or I would leave right before the shooting happened, or I would get off the train right before it got blown up. That really happened, like when I was a young person traveling around and there were like bombings and shit. We know if we pay the fuck attention, okay? All right, let's see what y'all are saying. Imagining a new future where survival is not the only mode. My grandma was just talking with my family about making new choices because we don't have to just survive now, mijas. We can plan our path. Thank you for reminding us of that, Sochi. Yes. The ancestors come through strong all the time to remind us, especially those who had like super duper poor and oppressed ancestors, and now we have like the availability. I was thinking about this the other day because my grandma used to clean rich people's houses, rich white people's houses all the time. And me and my mom were driving, and my mom was telling me about it. And like now she doesn't have to, and now we don't have to. And if I wanted to, which I'm still like dealing with my privilege guilt, I could hire somebody to help clean my house, because housing is hard out here. I have a little bitty house, I have a toddler, and there's like food over there I haven't cleaned up from this morning yet, you know, because it's just a lot. But point is, we have the availability to live a different life, live a more privileged life, live a more aware life, live a more peaceful life, live a more joyful life. My dear comadre, sister, Lady Speech, King, goddess, captain, sister, auntie, Lady Speech, has talked about that for a really long time, and even like coached me on it. So bless her. Please follow Lady Speech, give her money, give her praise, share her shit, honor her. Coach me about my privilege guilt, like your grandmother wants you to be happy. Okay, so there's so much I could say about that, but okay, let's see what else people are saying about not mimicking grandmas, grandpas. About not mimicking the same patterns of trauma and pain our grandmas, grandpas, ancestors were forced into, imagining a new path and choice that is yours. Thank you, Sochi. Follow Sochi So Chill. She's a brilliant poeta and artist. Thank you, mijita. I love you. I knew my transracial two-dad family was not supposed to be in the USA anymore. Interesting. Tell me more about that. What kind of tea are you drinking? This is a cold infusion of marshmallow root. So marshmallow root is a mucilaginous root, as in it creates mucus, and it likes cold water better. So if you just leave it in cold water, like put a jar of a little bit of marshmallow root with a bunch of water, it'll turn into this like viscous, milky thing. And it's really good for your mucous membranes. So I think it has Damiana, and I can't remember. It's a couple days old. It was in the fridge, so it's the last of it. but definitely has marshmallow. Hi, Indije Mama Hermana Corazon, I love you. I love you too, Sochi. Okay, let's look at the face bookends, the bookends of the faces. I always make it disappear if I say it. Okay. The plan card. Mi familia just honored the earth under mi abuelo's home in Sunnyside this morning, and the home itself. It has been sold and will be scraped. That's hard. Gentrification's been fucking up our town for a while, y'all. I know a lot of you are familiar with it. Feeling the blessing of the first generational wealth my family's known, but also the pain of redlining and gentrification. Huge buildings have already gone up across the street. Yeah, honestly, that's something I've been thinking about too, and actually just talking to my family about, because we have this ancestral home, and there's all kinds of ancestral trauma that happens in ancestral homes. And honestly, like, my family's been poor forever, and I'm like, you know what? If y'all sell this house, y'all won't have to be poor. You can live the last 20, 30, maybe 40 years of your life, like, with something, you know? So I go back and forth on that. We moved 617. When I witnessed Trump empowering the old system, I was like, we're out. Grandma of my husband led us back to his and her land, Newfoundland. Love you, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, you know what? I'm so like, we only know the answers for us at this time, right? And I do believe that we need to be considerate. We need to make sure we're causing the least harm to anybody ever. And we need to, like, be really intentional about how we live our lives and what we give our energy to, because the more we give energy to the broken, falling, painful systems, the less energy we're giving to creating our new systems that will actually be beneficial to us, right? Flow. Finally let out worry. I have one story for you, and then I'll release y'all. Not that I'm trapping y'all. Y'all can leave and come and go whenever you want. First year in acupuncture school, I was like in herbalism class, and Chinese medical herbalism is super duper complex, and sometimes there's like bait herbs, like everything's patterned, right? So if there's a like hot, dry thing, you want to contrast it by giving wet, cold herbs, like marshmallow root infusion, but I don't think even that's a Western herb. Anyways, I mean an Eastern herb. Anyways, there was all of these contraindications, and we were doing single herbs, and me and my academic mind, like, you know, having just graduated from Stanford, I was like, excuse me, professor. You know, youth, man. I was like, do you ever worry that blah, 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 blah. And I asked this like elaborate ass, complicated ass question that I started with, do you ever worry that? And my teacher, like, he was this older Chinese man, and he kind of like just looked at me like, and he goes, worry, very useless emotion. And he turned back around and started typing or writing on the board. That's like his whole answer. And I was like, because he didn't answer any of my question. He just said, worry, very useless emotion. And I was stumped. My point is here, finally letting out worry. Worry is a useless emotion. Do something. An opposite of worry and sitting there and pining away and wondering what if is being present, being aware, going outside, sitting in the garden. Look, this dude's even watering a garden. I don't know if y'all could see. Watering a garden, I think there's cats dancing. Dancing with cats, okay? Do something that gives you joy. Do something that moves your imagination forward. Do something that offers your embodiment of emotion, something other than this useless worry, okay? Flow. Finally let out worry. Dance with some bunnies and water some shit. All right. Somebody said, love and light and healing to all y'all. Thank you for sending that, Lil Moltonoma. I'm gonna do my best here. Breakup, moving back home from the city. I'm so much pain, but going with the flow. Good. I love breakups. Not that I want to break up. I'm really happy in my relationship, and we give each other space to be really true, which I'm grateful for. But sometimes heartbreak happens, you know, when we have to be really honest with each other about some thing. But when you're not like choosing a relationship, or when somebody decides to break up with you, I think it's such a beautiful opportunity to come home to yourself. I also believe that when we fall in love with other people, we're actually falling in love with ourselves. Because there's this blank canvas to put all of your beauty on. And it's when we get super close to somebody that our shadow starts to show up, and then we have to like face our shit, right? And that's when people fall out of love. It's really falling into denial about facing your shadow. So if you find partnership that's willing to look at the dark places and grow and heal through it, that's super powerful, and I'd say keep it. Multnomah County, Portland. Haven't been there, want to go. All right, guys, so thank you for being here. Happy Sunday. Housekeeping: if you want to support my work, please Muse Medicina Cash at me, eutimia@gmail.com, PayPal me, and Venmo eutimia-montoya. I would love to receive. No amount is too small. Share this. Send me a testimonial. I also am going to be dropping my 3rd iteration of my birthing class, new and improved. There's a new module on birth and social justice work, and I split the first module in 2 so that there's an entire module on just Chinese medicine physiology and like my own personal spiritual beliefs from my indigenous upbringing and my personal cultural understanding. So if you are interested in birth work as a birther, as a birth supporter, as somebody who is in a partnership with a birther, and wants to support, as somebody who just wants to know more about understanding life from my lens, I highly recommend my class. You can find that on my website, and send it to your birthing folks. And thank you for being here with me. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for holding space for me. When are you having your divination class? That's still for next year. But you've been staying tuned, so stay tuned, and I will announce all the different things. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.